Okay, dear colleagues, I decided to make this very short presentations called guidance for presentations for the zoology class because a lot of questions rose and I think it's good for you to have this example, and it will be very easy to make your projects for our meetings at the hall 10 of the university. Again, if you have more questions, you can write me on email. No problems, I will help you anytime. So, you have to choose an animal species or taxonomic group of species. Example, if you choose a species, it can be the gray wolf, Canis lupus. If you choose a family, a taxonomic group of species, it can be family, for example, the family of the dogs, Canidae. Here you can see it includes the wolves, domestic dog, coyote, jackal, fox, and other species. Of course, the raccoon dog and many other. This is just an example. So what has to be the file format and the length of presentation? Best is PowerPoint, but also PDF, Word are acceptable. And again, please send me files the day before the day of our practice. I want to have it in my laptop and you will present after the lectures. So it has to include valuable information, but not extending more than 5 to 10 minutes, not to bore the audience. Make it interesting but short, with a lot of information. It doesn't matter how many slides or pages it has to be. How to structure the project? Begin with systematics. It is the taxonomical position of the species, or if you choose a higher taxonomy, you can talk about the diversity of the group, and also you have to mention and the higher taxonomical levels. For example, if you choose family, you have to point out about the order and the other high levels of the taxonomy. And here is an example, the taxonomic position of the wolf, species Lupus, genus Canis, family Canidae, the dogs, order Carnivora, these are carnivores, class Mammalia, the mammals, phylum Chordata, the vertebrate animals, and kingdom Animalia. Here is another scheme of position, taxonomic position of the wolf. And higher taxa are mentioned also. If talk about a species, you can mention if there are any subspecies. For example, the wolf has a lot of subspecies. Something about the origin, the evolution of the species you're talking about. Say something about paleontological finds of the ancestors of this species, of the supposed ancestors of this species. Point 3, distribution. Here you can say the territory which is occupied by the species. And it's good to say about previous distribution and now it's shrinked because of the human activity. Humans, you know, are killing the wolves. 4. Ecology. Mainly talk about habitats and diet. Wolves inhabit a lot of habitats. You can see here the example. They can live from the Arctic area to the tropical areas of southern India in the jungles. Also, you know, of course, the temperate forests, steppe regions, and some more. About the diet, here you can see a diagram including the proportions of the different animal types which are prey of the wolf, taken from a scientific publication. Ethology, behavior, point 5. There are here 2 points. How the animals communicate each other. Here you can see the wolf, different body postures. But if you talk about, for example, some social insects, they are very interesting. They are contacting by pheromones, by behavior also. You can say a lot about this also. Communications between ants, between bees. Also, is there a social structure? Is it a social animal, firstly? Because some are single living in territories or home ranges. But if they live in groups like the packs of the wolves, prides of the mm, lions, and very complex structures of the ape groups, for example, chimps and gorillas. Also, the bonobos, they are very interesting. The social insects also, which have castes, the workers, the soldiers. You can say a lot about this. So about the social structure. 6. Biology. Say something about breeding, reproductive cycle or period. For example, many species in temperate areas breed in spring, but it's not a rule. Of course, some have a breeding cycle in the autumn and even during winter. For example, the white-headed vultures, the griffon vultures. They hatch their young in the middle of the winter, and it has a reason because there are a lot of carcasses in the winter, so they are hatching about February. Also about the litter size, how many young approximately the species have. 7. And last one, say something about the conservation. Here in the wolf there is 2 aspects, of course. In the past, it was considered as a pest and was exterminated from a lot of areas. And it's endangered and extinct in very areas. But it is a very important species for the ecosystems. You know the example in the Yellowstone, where wolves were exterminated and the ecosystem there almost collapsed. Now the wolves return there and it's stable and balanced. So, but you can talk only about invasive species. You can talk about the rats, the goats, and the pigs, which are introduced in some islands and also in large areas like Australia, New Zealand, and the ecological disasters they cause there. And that's all. Wish you all the best and good luck with your projects on zoology.